Hello and welcome back. We're here again, the house. I haven't been here for a couple of weeks, and the reason why I haven't been here is because I have been helping out in my girlfriend's family. We were there in a summer house one weekend, and last weekend I was visiting a good friend of mine that lives in Paris, so I was there with a couple of mates, and that means I haven't been here for about 2 weeks. And I must admit, before I went here today, I was a bit like, oh, it's going to be tough coming back into the build, and ideally I want to be done in a month, and in reality I don't think I'm going to be done in a month from now, despite that I'm going to spend all of my next weekends out here. So I have had to reconsider things a bit, but coming up here, it's just changing the way that I look at things, because I get so hyped when I arrive. I really enjoy what I'm spending my time on right here, and I really enjoy it even further when I come up here and I actually see that my cousin who's been working out in the bathroom, I'm going to show you that in a minute, has been doing a marvelous job. The only thing I can say is that it's very dusty up here. So all the skim coating of the walls is finished. I was about to say completely finished. It's not completely finished, but the majority of it is done. I think we're about 95%, and the last 5% was because I ran out of mud when I did it the other day, 2 weeks back. But it's been drying and everything seems to be dry, so it's wonderful. And the last bits that we miss are some of like the window frames and some of the dome frames. Like the opening frames, actually, where the camera is standing right now is what we miss. What do you think of this? This is going to be the most beautiful rental unit space in this entire city, in my opinion at least. It has brightened up the room significantly, having these wide marble-like tiles that are still porcelain, and then having this grouted element surface on top of it. I'm actually not too sure how much my cousin still needs to do here, so I need to figure out that. And he also still needs to grout the small bits between the stones here. But I think I'll actually go out and buy a toilet tomorrow, so that we can start going to the toilet or start using this bathroom again. And then I need to give him a call to see what are the next steps. So what I want to do is, in here I want to put up a glass wall right here. Then you're going to have the toilet next to it. And the glass wall that I want to put up here, I went and looked online, and unfortunately the dimensions are not looking straight, or not looking as per what every standard measurement is. So I think I need to buy a custom built glass wall that is going to reach this height. And because if I bought one that was out of the box element, it would be sort of like reaching this level, and I think that would look quite stupid, even though that you're going to have it out here on the side. So yeah, I'm going to get one that stops round about here, so that it sits flush with the window here, and yeah, install that one. I'm probably going to need some help to do that one. Then I need a sink unit, and we then need, obviously, to add in a new bathroom element here as well. So yeah, solid progress out here, and I'm really stoked about how far this has become. So to get the weekend off to the best start, what I want to do is, I'm going to be here today for 3 hours, roundabout. And I'm going to be here full day tomorrow Saturday, and then Sunday I'm going to be here like half a day as per the usual schedule what I'm doing. And what I want to do first today is to give this entire place a quick tidy up, because it's very dusty, it's very dirty, and there's a bit of rubbish standing everywhere, and I don't know where I've got all of my stuff. So I want to do that first things first. Then I'll jump upstairs, and we probably need to rearrange a few things, because where all the stuff is right now is actually the room that I want to start working in. And I want to start working in that room by sanding down the mud so it sits very flush, and then I'm going to give it the first coat of paint. But yeah, I think I should stop chatting and just get started with the work, because no one's coming in and doing it for me. Right, downstairs is somewhat clean right now, and I have just hooked up everything I need. to sand the walls. I just tried to give it a quick test patch here. I'm not going to be too comfortable with doing this. I think it takes a bit of technique to learn it. Again, this is one of the other things that I have never tried before, but I'm very sure I can do it if I just give it a shot. So I'm going to do that right now. And I haven't been provided with any instructions, but quite straightforward. This monstrosity of an equipment, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's got a sanding, like sandpaper right here. I've hooked it up to the vacuum cleaner there, so there's not going to be dust everywhere. But yeah, I'll start the time lapse and listen to some banger music and get to work. So yesterday evening I faced quite a few difficulties. The reason I did that was I couldn't use the monstrosity of an equipment because, well, I did use it somewhat on the wall here, but it was very hard, and I figured, well, there must be some other way I could do it, so I started doing it by this small hand sander, and I think I spent a good hour. You saw most of it, I think. And then I turned off the camera because it got too tedious and it got too hard and I was running out of battery. So I went home and I had to think about how can I do it and what should the process be and how should I do it all. Also the light was quite bad because it was not like it was evening, so there was no sunlight anymore, which there is now, so a bit of a change. And I went researching and came across that you can use this piece of equipment, which I think is going to be much easier. So you can see a bigger surface than this small one, and I think this one will tidy into the corners. The corners are the ones that are very difficult for me, because the big surfaces, like the big surface on this wall here, is going to be easy with a big monstrosity of piece of equipment. I can't remember what it's called, the big sander, the automatic one. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do the edges with this one, and if I have to, I'll touch up with this. So, plan of action for today is to get this room sanded down. Then I need to do some touch-up plastering downstairs. So I'll sand this room down. I'll give it the first coat of primer, which is it's not a colored primer. It's like a liquid that you pour onto the surface here, and that needs to set for about an hour. So in the meantime, I'm going to go down, touch up some elements downstairs, and for around the window frames, I went out and bought some extra skim coat this morning. And after that, I'm going to go up here and give it the first coat of paint. Obviously give this room a clean, and then we'll see how it looks. Because I had a good tip from my cousin, and my cousin, he told me, the guy that's been doing the bathroom downstairs, he told me that he's working with a few painters when he's out doing jobs in his normal job, whatever. When he's doing his bricklayer or doing a toilet or something, he also speaks to the painters. And he told me a very good thing that you can do, because when I was looking at this, sanding it down yesterday, I could see so many imperfections, and I'm quite perfectionistic. And I want to be like spot on, especially it's the first time around, so you're very careful. I'm spending a lot of time on doing it, and I just want to ensure that everything is going to be snug and it's going to be nice. But he told me that you can give it first coat. He's seen a painter give it the first coat of paint, so prime it, give it first coat of paint, and then you can more easily see the small bits of imperfections. And then you buy a finely meshed skim coat, and you can just touch it up. And then you don't need to, well, you just quickly sand it down once it dries, and then you can just cover it twice. So I was going to give this 3 coats of paint anyway, but I could add that extra element of just doing like small touch-ups with the fine skim coat. The only issue is I didn't buy fine skim coat, so I might try with a medium one, where the sanding particles are a bit bigger. That's what I've been using on the walls anyway. So yeah, again, learning by doing, learning as we go along. I've never tried any of this before, so we'll see how it goes. All right, the room is now fully sanded. I am still not fully convinced about about how it looks everywhere. I think the big machine, the one I connected to the vacuum cleaner, took a bit too much off, and I didn't even use that big of a grit on the sanding paper. I used 120 as I did when I did it with by hand. I'm going to give it a primer now, and I am then going to let it dry for about an hour, and then I'm going to give it the first coat of paint, and then we'll see how it looks. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it looks. I think it's going to transform the room. I think the room's already transformed. Just that we have a room here is a big difference to where it was in the beginning. And I think I'll see if I can put in a screenshot of how it was up here at the very beginning. So yeah, massive progress, but I better get going. So room's now fully primed, and I have a few pieces of unfinished business that I need to do actually in the other room right there, and downstairs where I need to do some skim coat in some windowsills similar to what we have right there behind me. So whilst this will be drying for the next hour before I can paint it, I will go down and I will give those a good layer of skim coat. It shouldn't take too long. I think I'm quite experienced in that sense right now. So yeah, I'll jump to it. What do you think of it? I'm quite pleased with the result, if I'm honest. So it's daylight now, and I think I should be able to see most of the imperfections, and I have indeed noticed a few, but I'm actually quite happy with how the result has come out so far, bearing in mind that this is only the first coat of paint that I've given it. So I think my plan before I went out here this weekend was, all right, I'll just go Friday evening, and then I can sand it down, and then I'll have everything sanded down on an evening, and then I could just give the first coat of paint Saturday morning. I could give it second coat of paint Saturday evening, and then I can give another coat of paint on Sunday, and that's the top floor done. Right, end of story. Reality does not allow you to work that fast, and the reason why reality does not allow you to work that fast is because things take significantly longer time than you expect when you are inexperienced, and that's what I've been running into here. But I'm very, very happy with the result and how it's come out. Small imperfections, you can see one right there, and when you're up close on the camera, yes, you can see that the wall is not 100% sorted. Like most of these I should have sanded out, but I must have missed them. And I can always sand it down, but if, like, in the grand scheme of things, I think the walls are actually looking quite all right. And as you can see, I added tape up here to ensure that I'm not that I don't have to sand down the beams again. So I think all in all, actually quite solid progress. And the reason why I've hit the ceiling, as you can see right there, is because we're going to add another piece of ceiling on top of that. That will be 2 centimeters like so that you won't be able to see it right there. Do you know what? Let me take you this way, because this is another room that I've done, and as you can see, I have skim coated the window here, and this needs to dry. And I actually want to work on this room as the next one. What I miss to be able to start sanding down the walls here is, of course, this window here to dry, also the windowsill to dry out. But I also need to sand down the last of these few beams that I have running through. What I actually need to do is, I have so much equipment up here right now, like bits and bobs, things I've used for various purposes throughout the entire process, and I think I'm spending so much time cleaning up every time I'm here, so much time moving stuff around that I'm not using anymore. It could be like the membrane I used for the roof upstairs. If you haven't seen that video, go and have a look. It's one of the ones I'm most proud of, so go and have a look. I'll put a link to that one there below here. But I'm so annoyed with having all of these things here. It's just an untidy workplace, and many of you will probably look at it and say, oh, it's well tidy, but I would like to have a lot of these things moved back home in storage for a second time, or for when I'm doing the apartment that is on the ground level. And the shop that I need to go and buy the storage systems in closes in 40 minutes. So I think I need to jump down, get in my car, and go out and drive out and pick those up. And hopefully I can have them in my car. We'll see about that. And then I can have some dinner, and I can come back later on and I can start sanding things down in the other room. And then I'll see how far I'll make it, and I'll probably bring a trailer so that I can bring back a lot of the stuff that I have up here to ensure that more clean, tidy, nice workspace, so that I am well equipped for another day tomorrow. And actually next week is going to be a big one, because I'm going to be here 4 days next week because of public holidays here in Denmark. So yeah, I think I might as well just get going.
The next morning.
Okay, I'm gonna do a quick one here today. I'm sorry I haven't been able to film as much, and the reason is I have been running around and doing a lot of things in the background, which is necessarily not too interesting to do on camera. And if I were to position a camera and follow myself around doing all of that, it would just be pointless for you to watch. But what I've been doing is I've been cleaning up the entire workspace that we have right here. And just to give you an update from where I left off yesterday, the last thing you saw me do was actually paint this room. And I'm not too sure how well it picks it up on the camera, but I'm actually surprised about how well it has turned out today. I could have given it a second coat, but I've just done something different. But I'll get back to that in a second. Because another thing I did yesterday was that I sanded down the beams here, so there's no more sanding to be done, and I think they're looking quite alright. I spoke to the lady down in the painting store, and I asked her, so what should I do? Should I give them a coat of oil or treat them with anything? And she was like, do you want to change the color of them? So no, that was the entire purpose of sanding them down, was to change the color back to what it was. And then she was like, well, just leave them as they are. If they're 100 years old, they'll last. So all right, fair enough. So nothing more to be done to these right now, aside from ensuring that we're not painting them when I am doing the walls. And another thing I did was that I ended up skim coating the few windowsills I had left, and then I did a big cleaning session up here. And what I've been doing, aside from just tidying up the workspace, and I've also tidied up the workspace, tidied up all of the elements I have back home with my parents. So one of the elements that I've brought back is sort of like the the wallpaper stripper, like the tool that we use for scraping off the wallpaper. We're not going to do that anymore, so it's pointless to have those things floating up here. So what I've done is I've gone out, I've bought quite a few like small boxes. Now I've of course tilted everything. You can see I have a few more boxes down here that I've also bought just to like categorize things, keep them tidy in one place. Like this is actually the most messy room that there are here on the build. I also bought a big shelf and rack unit, fairly cheap actually. I'm going to show you that downstairs in a minute. But jumping back to this room, the reason why I haven't given it a second coat of paint today is because I have just tidied up the small holes that I could see in the wall. I think I said in the video yesterday that I wasn't too happy about it in terms of it not being smooth enough, the surface, but I actually think the first coat of primer and the first coat of paint, essentially the paint, has actually picked up on most of it. So I'm quite happy with the result, especially considering that I'm going to give it 2 more coats. But I did use something, and let me show you how it looks like. But as you can see here, it's actually like, what would you call this? Whipped cream sort of like vibe, and it says extra fine, which is like a filler that you add in. So I was told by my cousin to try and give it a shot. I could probably have used some other like big box, like the big box that I've used skim coat for the entire wall. This is medium, so the grains in the sand skim coat here are medium sized, meaning that it's actually quite nice of a surface that we have right here. That one's fine, so the sand grains will then be smaller, and I think I need to let that set. The reason why I wanted to use that one is also because it's wide, and this is, it's probably hard to see. I was on my phone with my girlfriend and I was trying to show her the things, and she's like, I can't tell the difference. So not too sure if you can tell the difference either, but this is actually grey, and from where I'm standing I can see a huge difference between this wall and the walls in the other room that I've painted. Have a look at this workspace. It is completely tidy. It actually almost looks like a room now. This is the shelving unit that I bought, and where you can see all of my elements are stored for the ones that I haven't brought back. There's a few things over here as well. This is where I have all of my stuff right now, and it looks much more tidy, meaning that what I need to do for the next few days, or I can just give you a quick explanation here. I forgot to skim coat these middle bits here, and I also skim coated the windowsill here and the windowsill over there. So what I need to do is I need to let this dry, and I also need to let the upstairs dry, and then I can go ahead with a big machine, with a big sanding thing. I've tried it now this weekend. I haven't made as much progress as I wanted this weekend, but I think when I have 4 days this coming week, I can make a significant progress, and my aim is to have the entire first floor done. And the time in between the coats or the layers of paint is not going to be as much. I don't expect that to be too rough, and I might even give it a shot on the staircase going upstairs as well, and see if I can get that sorted as well. So if I could get the top floor done and the staircase down, then the only thing I miss down here, the only thing I'll miss is then down here, and it just takes a lot of time in all fairness. I'm hoping, and I'm going to push it because I have 4 days of work from Thursday till Sunday, and we'll see how far I'll make it. But yeah, going to leave you for now. So thanks a lot for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. See you then.